Have you heard of Galen of Pergamon, a physician of the Roman Empire? He treated gladiators and even emperors, but his greatest legacy was combining science and philosophy to treat the body and soul as one single organism. For Galen, sleep wasn't just rest. It was preventive medicine, a healing ritual as important as food or physical movement. In his view, a poorly slept night was like poison slowly flowing through the veins, weakening the body's humors, deregulating the organs and affecting the spirit. And today, 2,000 years later, modern science only confirms what Galen already knew. Sleep is one of the most neglected pillars of longevity, especially after the age of 60. When the body changes, the brain needs more care, and rest becomes a weapon against chronic illness, memory loss, and even falls. Before we dive into the 12 signs that poor sleep is sabotaging your health, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. Here, we translate ancient wisdom to help you live with more clarity, balance, and energy, even as the grey hairs start to show. Sleep pattern changes with age. Have you noticed that, as the years go by, your sleep has become lighter? That you wake up more during the night, and also earlier in the morning? This isn't a coincidence, nor a sign of bad aging. It's biology. As we age, our sleep cycle goes through natural changes. Deep sleep, that restorative stage that repairs muscles and consolidates memories, decreases. That means that even if you sleep many hours, your body might not feel truly rested. Even in ancient times, Galen observed that older bodies needed more silence and less stimulation before bed. He recommended warm baths, light dinners, and dark environments. Centuries before modern science validated these practices. But why does this happen? Melatonin, the sleep hormone, starts being produced in smaller amounts. Additionally, the biological clock, known as the circadian rhythm, becomes more easily disrupted. This explains why many older adults start to nap during the day and struggle with sleep at night. Practical tip for today: try to go to bed at the same time every night, even on weekends. That helps your body create an internal routine. And if you wake up too early, don't get up right away. Practice Stoic patience. Take deep breaths. Allow yourself a bit more rest. And now tell me, have you noticed these changes in your sleep? How are you managing them? Share in the comments. Your experience might help someone else too. The impact of poor sleep on memory and cognition. Have you ever forgotten where you left your glasses while you were wearing them? Or walked into a room and forgot why? It may seem funny, but if it happens often, it's a red flag. Poor sleep directly compromises our memory and reasoning abilities. During sleep, especially deep and REM sleep, the brain organizes information, consolidates learning, and clears out mental garbage, such as toxic proteins that in excess are linked to Alzheimer's disease. Studies show that people who sleep less than 6 hours per night, especially after age 60, are at greater risk of developing dementia or mild cognitive impairment. Galen used to say that sleep was like a nighttime librarian, reorganizing mental files and restoring the functions of the spirit. When that librarian doesn't show up for work, everything becomes a mess. And here's the curious part. Sometimes people sleep many hours, but if the sleep quality is poor, the effect is the same. It's like flipping through a book all night without actually reading a single page. Avoid bright screens, phones, TV, tablets, at least 1 hour before bed. Blue light interferes with melatonin production and can delay the onset of deep sleep. Opt for a light book, a calm conversation, or even soft music instead. The link between sleep and heart disease. Did you know that one bad night's sleep can make your heart work as if it were in a state of war? It's not an exaggeration, it's physiology. During sleep, especially in the deepest stages, heart rate drops, blood pressure stabilizes, and the body enters repair mode. But when sleep is interrupted or shallow, the body stays on alert. This activates the sympathetic nervous system, the same one that responds to stress. The result? Increased risk of high blood pressure, arrhythmias, and even heart attacks. Studies show that sleeping less than 6 hours per night or having fragmented sleep is significantly linked to a higher risk of cardiovascular disease, especially in older adults. And the danger lies not only in how long you sleep, but in how well you sleep. Galen observed this in patients with chest pain and an anxious pulse. To him, sleep was a natural medicine, and insomnia, a disturbance that made the heart suffer silently. Avoid heavy dinners at night. Intense digestion can make it harder to enter deep sleep and overwork the heart. Choose light, warm foods, like vegetable soup or a calming herbal tea. Sleep and the immune system. Think of your immune system as an army that can only fight well after a good night's rest. When sleep fails, your defenses weaken too. During deep sleep, the body releases cytokines, substances that help fight infections, inflammation, and even tumors. Poor sleep, especially chronic, reduces that production, leaving the body more vulnerable to viruses, bacteria, and autoimmune diseases. Studies show that older adults who sleep poorly are more likely to catch colds, get urinary tract infections, and even have weaker responses to vaccines. Immunity becomes like a sleepy guard, slower, less effective. Galen used to say that healing begins with rest. He believed an exhausted body was fertile ground for illness, and that sleep was a kind of spiritual detox that strengthened the humus and restored vital energy. Include calming teas in your nighttime routine, like chamomile, lemon, balm, or passion flower. In addition to helping you sleep, many of these herbs have anti-inflammatory properties that boost immunity. Do you notice that you get sick more often when you don't sleep well? How about trying a more sacred sleep routine and seeing the results? Common sleep disorders in older adults. Sometimes the problem isn't just sleeping poorly. It's having a sleep disorder that no one has diagnosed. After age 60, cases of the following increase significantly. Chronic insomnia, with difficulty falling or staying asleep. Sleep apnea, when breathing stops for several seconds multiple times during the night, causing micro-awakenings and daytime fatigue. Restless leg syndrome, that uncomfortable sensation in the legs that forces movement to relieve it. And fragmented sleep, where the older adult wakes up multiple times without a clear cause. Many of these disorders go unnoticed because they're considered normal for aging, but they're not. Sleeping poorly every night is not normal. It's a sign that the body is asking for help. Galen didn't have modern names for these conditions, but he recognized signs like nighttime suffocation, limb agitation, and fatigue without cause. He treated them with dietary changes, calming oils, and lifestyle adjustments, an early form of functional medicine with a Stoic touch. If you wake up tired, with a headache, or find yourself yawning all day, talk to your doctor. A sleep evaluation can reveal much more than you think. And drastically improve your quality of life. The influence of medications on sleep. Have you ever carefully read the label on your medications? Many common medications used after age 60 for blood pressure, pain, anxiety, or even acid reflux can significantly affect sleep. Some examples: diuretics cause frequent nighttime urination. Beta blockers can reduce melatonin production. Anxiolytics, if used long-term, disrupt the natural sleep architecture, making it more shallow. Even antidepressants or chronic pain medications can cause insomnia or daytime drowsiness. Galen already warned against the excessive use of potions that sedated the body without treating the root cause. He believed that the ideal medicine didn't cause dependency or disturb the body's natural balance. Important: never stop a treatment without your doctor's guidance, but bring a list of all the medications you're taking and ask, could any of these be affecting my sleep? That simple question could mark a turning point in your health. Practical tip for today: make a complete list of all your medications and supplements, including their schedule. This will help your doctor assess potential interactions and adjust your treatment more safely. Have you ever suspected that a medication was affecting your sleep? Share your experience in the comments. It might help others too. The importance of routine and sleep hygiene. Do you have any bedtime rituals? Or do you just shut off in front of the TV when sleep hits? The truth is that the quality of our sleep begins hours before our head hits the pillow. The brain needs clear signals that it's time to disconnect, and that's where sleep hygiene comes in. This concept isn't about physical cleanliness, but about healthy habits that promote restorative sleep, such as keeping consistent sleep and wake times, avoiding bright lights and electronic devices at night, reducing caffeine and alcohol intake in the afternoon and evening, creating a dark, quiet, and comfortable sleep environment. Galen advised his patients to have a transition time before bed, a warm bath, a light dinner, calm thoughts, no arguments or heavy meals. Create a small evening ritual. It can be as simple as making tea, reading a book excerpt, or listening to relaxing music. Repeating it every night trains your brain to switch off. Exposure to natural light and the circadian rhythm. Have you ever wondered why we wake up with sunlight and feel sleepy at night? That's the work of our circadian rhythm, an internal biological clock that regulates sleep, appetite, body temperature, and even mood. This rhythm is mainly controlled by natural light. When morning sunlight enters our eyes, it sends a message to the brain: time to wake up. And in the evening, darkness stimulates the production of melatonin, the sleep hormone. But here's the issue. Many older adults spend very little time outdoors. Closed windows, dark curtains, artificial lighting, all of that disrupts this biological clock. Galen valued the relationship between the body and nature's cycles. He advised his patients to get morning sun exposure and avoid bright lights after sunset, respecting what he called the rhythm of the humors. Try going outside during the first 30 minutes of the day. You don't need to be in direct sunlight. Just being on the balcony, in the garden, or walking on the sidewalk helps your body know when to stay alert and when to rest. Diet and sleep. What did you eat affects how you sleep. Did you know your last meal of the day can make the difference between a peaceful night and hours of tossing and turning? Some foods stimulate the brain and make it harder to sleep. Others relax you and promote rest. And as we age, the body becomes even more sensitive to these effects. Foods to avoid at night. Caffeine, found in coffee, black tea, chocolate, and some painkillers. Very fatty or spicy meals. Excess refined sugars, which cause energy spikes. Foods that promote sleep. Banana, rich in magnesium and tryptophan. Oats naturally release melatonin. Warm milk with turmeric. Nuts and seeds, natural sources of melatonin. Galen believed that food was one of the pillars of medicine. He taught that dinner should be light, nutritious, and eaten several hours before bed. For him, a full stomach at night interfered with dreams and harmed the body. Avoid eating during the 2 hours before bedtime. If you're hungry, choose a light, warm snack, like a small serving of oats with banana or a cup of chamomile tea. What's your usual dinner? Have you noticed any difference in your sleep after certain meals? Share. Your experience might help others make better choices too. Physical activity and sleep. Movement that heals. You might think, but I already get tired just going up the stairs. I don't need to exercise. But physical tiredness is different from the mental. Exhaustion caused by inactivity. Engaging in regular physical activity, even light movement like walking, stretching or dancing, significantly improves sleep quality. That's because exercise helps reduce stress and anxiety, regulate the circadian rhythm, increase natural melatonin production, extend the phases of deep sleep. Studies show that people over 60 who move at least 30 minutes a day experience less insomnia, wake up with more energy, and report a better mood. Galen recommended moderate, regular exercise, nothing excessive. He believed that movement kept the vital heat circulating through the organs and helped balance body and mind. For him, a sedentary lifestyle was a slow form of intoxication. If you're not used to exercising, start with 10 minutes of walking daily, either after breakfast or in the late afternoon. Your body will thank you at night. The impact of sleep on mental health. Sadness or just fatigue? Have you ever woken up with no motivation, no desire to talk, or do the things you enjoy? Sometimes that can be mistaken for depression, but it may simply be a lack of quality sleep. Poor sleep directly affects emotional regulation. It amplifies negative feelings like irritability, fear, and sadness, and reduces the ability to handle everyday challenges. Over time, this emotional overload can lead to anxiety or depression, especially in more vulnerable older adults. Studies show that older adults with insomnia are twice as likely to develop depression. Galen, though he lived in a time without modern psychiatric diagnoses, recognized the connection between the mind and the body. He said the soul would become ill alongside poor sleep, and that melancholy, the ancient name for depression, was often caused by sleepless nights and disordered eating. Before turning to medication for sadness or low mood, take a look at your sleep pattern. Track it for 7 days. How many hours you sleep, how often you wake up, and how you feel in the morning. This simple practice can reveal important patterns. When to seek professional help. A warning sign, not a weakness. Many people say, it's just a bad sleep phase. It'll pass. But what if it doesn't? Sleeping poorly for a few nights is common. But sleeping poorly for weeks or months is a sign that something more serious may be going on, and it deserves professional attention. Unfortunately, many older adults accept poor sleep as just part of aging, but that's not true. Sleeping well is a biological right, not a luxury reserved for the young. Seek help if it takes you more than 30 minutes to fall asleep most nights. You wake up multiple times and can't get back to sleep. You wake up tired even after 7 or 8 hours in bed. You feel drowsy during the day, have trouble concentrating, or notice memory loss. You snore loudly or suspect you may have sleep apnea. Galen said that a good doctor listens not only to the organs, but also to the patient's habits and spirit. Seeking help is a sign of wisdom, not weakness. You don't have to suffer in silence. Final tip for today: book an appointment with a trusted doctor. It could be a geriatrician, neurologist, or general practitioner. Bring your sleep notes from the past few days. That simple step could change the course of your health. Have you gone through something similar? Did you seek help and get good results? Share your story. Your example might be the motivation someone else needs. If Galen taught us anything, it's that health doesn't depend solely on medication, but also on attention, discipline, and respect for the body's rhythms. Sleeping well is not a detail. It's a daily decision, a self-care act that strengthens the body, mind, and spirit. Especially after the age of 60, sleep stops being secondary and becomes a key player in achieving quality longevity. Now it's your turn. Take care of your sleep like you would tend a garden, with patience, routine, and care. And if this content made sense to you, leave a comment below. Tell us which tip stood out to you, or what habit you plan to change starting today. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell for future videos, and share this content with someone who also deserves to sleep better and live healthier. See you in the next episode, with more ancient wisdom and modern science for living well at any age.